Chapter 3. The Riddles That Shape the Heart, from Case Solved. Mystery of the Treasures of His Heart, the 26th of June, 2024. Introduction. Some mysteries do not reveal themselves in a moment. They are lived, carried and endured long before they are understood. It follows the journey of a heart tested by promises that seemed to fail, by events that felt contradictory, and by encounters that shook the foundation of trust between the Creator and the one he chose to walk through these riddles. What looked like disappointment was later revealed to be sacrifice, and what felt senseless was part of a divinely written plan. This chapter uncovers 3 such cases. First is the Captain Riddle event, a 12-year sacrifice wrapped in confusion and heartbreak, designed to plant a seed that would only activate once the time was right. The second is the story of Saul, a man who wanted authority without surrender, offering a contrast between those who yield to truth and those who resist it. The third is the twin flame encounter, a mirror through which the Creator reached into a life closed off by pain, using a reflection to awaken what had gone dormant. Together, these cases show how the Creator works through people, timelines, disappointments, and scripted moments to reveal what lies in the heart. They show that the most painful events often hide the deepest mysteries, and that every riddle carries a sacrifice, and every sacrifice carries a reward. Above all, they remind the bride that when life contradicts what the Creator once spoke, it is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of the unveiling. Warning.
The unlocking of the secrets is the key only for the remnant. These keys will contain a lot of parables for you to understand, but they will only be clear for my remnant.
Case. The sacrifice hidden in the riddle.
During the Captain Riddle event in 2011, and for many years afterwards, I began to mistrust the Creator because he kept reminding me about Captain Riddle, even about 4 years after the event, when anyone else would have moved on. The Creator said to me again,
"The story is not yet complete. It is divinely written."
I could not understand why he would tell me such things when everything I saw around me was the opposite. I even asked the Creator whether he was truly speaking the truth. Then, in the book Mystery of the Bride, I gave the Creator an ultimatum to reveal the truth to me regarding the Captain Riddle mystery within 3 days, or set me free. Before he revealed the mystery of the sacrifice and that Captain Riddle is Captain Yeshua, I asked him what the point would be if what he had spoken to me 12 years earlier had been a lie. Then he revealed that Captain Riddle is Captain Yeshua, and that the Creator of all had preserved a love letter for the bride about her bridegroom. Upon hearing this, I asked the Creator, "But why would you create such a realistic setup involving Captain Riddle? What am I meant to learn from this? Or what does it signify?" Then he explained this as a riddle event, saying,
These riddle events are designed to feel real, ensuring that you fully engage with them. While they are true, they operate on a different plane of understanding. Within these events, you will experience genuine emotions and rejection because they serve as a test of the heart's maturity. There is a sacrifice in upholding the truth, as rejection itself becomes part of the process, since the choices made within these events carry real significance.
So what Jesus did through the Captain Riddle event was this. Jesus came through a person called Captain Riddle and made the situation feel real, then planted the seed within me, the seed of the Jonathan David covenant that would eventually birth these books. I'm not yet sure when that seed was planted or activated. It may be that the key was those repeated moments when I answered, "Yes, I will marry Captain Riddle if it is your will," and that the sacrifice was what activated the seed. Then, after 12 years of waiting for an answer, his explanation that Captain Riddle was Captain Yeshua came as an eye-opener. I still do not know whether there's another layer to the Captain Riddle mystery. I believe there's more revelation embedded within it.
The Captain Riddle event was real, and that hurt you deeply.
I understand now that it was a sacrifice I had to endure for 12 years in order for his mystery to be revealed. And it was a sacrifice because the pain was real. I was confused about what he expected of me regarding the things he said about Captain Riddle. That was when I began to mistrust him, and I told him that I would not allow him into the depths of my heart again, because with the Captain Riddle event, it was the second time he had done this to me, the first being the He-Man event. I could not allow him to do that to me again, so I stepped back and became cautiously suspicious. The greatest pain I endured in all of this was not that the man rejected me, but what the Creator said about it. In hindsight, it has a great outcome, but producing that outcome involves sacrifice and pain. To identify those Riddle events, those painful moments, those situations that made no sense, that is where the mystery lies in your life. You need to seek out the truth of them by asking the Creator for clarity. These are the things you feel you sacrificed something for, yet they did not come to pass, and they remain a riddle. You must uncover their meaning. Look at those events where he said something to you, and the opposite happened, or it did not happen at all, even though you believed with your whole heart that it was from him because he said it.
Go and look at it again, and then ask me for the truth to unravel the riddle in your life. Deborah is not the only one with a riddle in her life. She holds an example of a riddle, and that was a great sacrifice. So, for those who asked me for something, and I spoke into it, and it did not come to pass, even though you believed that I said what I said and believed it would happen but it did not, go and look at it again. Write it down, and then ask me, please reveal this riddle in my life. Show me what sacrifice I made with this, and then I will reveal it to you.
If there are any remaining riddles, please reveal them to me, because it is those really difficult events that you cannot understand, especially the ones where you know the Creator was involved, and yet everything fell apart.
Those are the events you need to identify as riddles, and you need to unravel them.
Isaac was Abraham's riddle event, but before his riddle started, when the Creator spoke to him, saying that he would have a son, Abraham, at the age of 75, already made peace with the fact that he would be childless. Then the Isaac riddle was spoken to him, a word that took 25 years to come to completion.
The story of Abraham is indeed a riddle event. That is what the Creator spoke, and it seems lost or impossible.
Over the years, I often thought about Abraham's journey when he had to wait for his promised child after the Creator told him about it. But I used to think that Abraham waited only for a child. I waited for both the promised man and a child. So compared to the difficult journey I faced, I felt that Abraham's walk was easier because he had Sarah beside him.
I understand that pain. People do not want to go through pain because it hurts physically. Some people love others for what they can get from them, but those who love deeply and genuinely are usually the ones who carry the pain.
I do not want any more new riddles, please. I know a riddle contains a secret, and within that secret is a sacrifice, and within that sacrifice is a great reward. I just want it crystal clear, plain, and straightforward.
Do you think there are more riddles for you?
I do not know. This Captain Riddle's sacrifice was real and painful, and I'm afraid he may do it to me again. I'm not sure my heart could handle it.
With what we know now, you would probably recognize it immediately.
I know one thing for sure. I can now tell others, those who feel disappointed with God because He gave them a word that has never come to pass after many years, to go back to those moments and ask the Creator why. We have seen through this riddle how I mistrusted the Creator, only to finally understand that it was a sacrifice meant to benefit others. As the Creator said,
Ask me for the truth to unravel the riddle in your life. Deborah is not the only one with a riddle in her life. She holds an example of a riddle, and that was a great sacrifice.
Case: the battle within the heart when faced with truth. In Mystery of the Human Heart, a character named Saul was mentioned, a man who sought authority without developing the character required to sustain it, Although he lobbied for a managerial role and even pushed for ownership, his actions revealed a heart shaped by pride, entitlement, and rebellion. He showed little respect for leadership, ignored spiritual boundaries, and involved himself in prohibited practices such as divination games. Saul's behavior exposed a deeper issue, the desire for the crown without the willingness to carry the cross. Instead of walking in humility and obedience, he pursued promotion through manipulation and self-importance. Now, the Creator is providing the opportunity for Deborah to speak to him.
Over the last day or two, the Creator gave me an opportunity to speak to Saul about his behavior. I also explained to him the Captain Riddle sacrifice, a riddle mystery that applies to others as well, because he had said more than once that the Creator had disappointed him.
Really? What happened? What did he say?
Well, he lied about playing the divination games, claiming he had only read up on them for a month or two. I corrected him, telling him I knew he had been playing them for months. I have the evidence. I told him it was very disrespectful and that he had broken my trust.
It feels foolish to be caught.
Then I told him that he needed to wake up because he has no idea where we are on the timeline. I told him the tribulation is about to begin, and if there is even a chance that it is true, he should ask himself how he's spending his time. I told him to get his house in order, so I gave him an assignment to go home, draw a line, and say to the Creator that he gives his heart to him again. He must ask the Creator to remove the heart of stone and give him a new heart, just as David did. I also told him to baptize himself and his family, because he is the leader and he needs to take up that leadership to show his family what it looks like to surrender before the Creator. And then he must ask for the Holy Spirit so that he can be sealed with the Creator's name for protection.
What was his reaction?
We spoke for nearly 2 hours, and during that time, the Creator spoke through me to him. While we were talking, he started crying a few times. Then he said that the Creator had disappointed him more than once. I told him about the sacrifices I had to endure when the Creator told me that Captain Riddle was my husband, not knowing at the time that it was a riddle event and that I would have to wait 12 years for an answer. So I explained to him my 12-year riddle and the sacrifice I had to make. Even though it feels as if the Creator has disappointed you, that disappointment is part of the riddle event. It becomes a sacrifice, and that sacrifice will lead to a reward far greater than you could ever have imagined.
It is good that you explained your experiences to him so that he can understand what is really happening in the background while he is disappointed with God and pointing his finger at him.
I realized that I need to speak to all my employees and bring them the truth. I'm going to tell them that they need to make their decision now with the Creator, and that whatever they choose, the Creator sees their hearts. I will also ask for their support during this process because I need them to reduce any additional stress around me, not add more, like Saul did.
I agree. That would be good, although some will resist the truth. What happened with Saul? Did he listen to you?
After I spoke to him, he was eager to get home and be baptized. But then he came to me the next morning and said he wanted to speak with me. He shared his feelings about how I had previously given him responsibilities and then taken them away again. My response was straightforward and simple to address because he had failed many of those responsibilities, overstepped boundaries, and shown a lack of respect towards his colleagues through his behavior.
He wanted to get the last word in, so he obviously thought about what you said. What was his reply?
He said he wants the relationship between us to be right and that he does not want any bad feelings between us. I told him there are no bad feelings on my side and that he simply needs to do what is expected of him. So I asked him what he did last night, and he replied that he gave his heart to the Creator and baptized himself in the bath. I then told him that his next step should be to get married to the Creator. After that, he left.
I hope he takes all your words to heart and listens to the truth you gave him, because the truth you shared with him did not come to you easily. It came at a price.
Saul entered the story wanting authority without ever building the inner life required to carry it. When confronted, he responded the same way he had always lived, with half-truths and excuses. Deborah reminded him of the weight of the moment and urged him to turn his heart back to the Creator. She gave him a path forward that required honesty, surrender, and responsibility, even guiding him toward baptism and leadership in his own home. Although Saul showed emotion and spoke of disappointment with God, his tears did not translate into transformation. His behavior at the end mirrored his behavior at the beginning. He still defended his failures, redirected blame, and tried to secure a clean image rather than a clean heart. Even after claiming to have given his heart to the Creator, nothing in his life reflected repentance or change. In time, he resigned. The fruit that would have proven a new heart never appeared. The truth he was offered and the truth he briefly touched slipped through his hands because he never let it take root. He sought authority, but never character. He wanted a blessing, but never surrendered. And in the end, he walked out the same way he walked in. Case: The Riddle of the Twin Flame.
I wanted to know if there were any other riddles in my life, and then the Creator reminded me about the twin flame. Remember, I previously spoke about an employee I described as a twin flame who felt like my son. He was about 20 years younger than me, but he felt like a younger version of myself. He was in and out of my life within 3 months.
Yes, I remember.
The Creator revealed that he came to me through that man, and he knew I would notice him because his CV was almost a replica of mine, although he had achieved better results. He studied engineering for 2 years, just as I did. What are the odds that he then went into IT programming next? He had also worked as a bartender and waiter, as I had when I was younger. It followed exactly the same pattern. When I looked at him, it felt like looking in a mirror, and he felt like my son, as if he were the version of a son I would have had if I had a child. I then asked the young man if he had also noticed the similarities, and the first words out of his mouth were twin flames. The twin flame connection was Yeshua, speaking to me through that young man. This is one of those mysteries where the Creator speaks to you through someone, and you can recognize it by the authority and intensity with which it happens. But in the last 3 weeks of his 3 months around me, he completely reverted to being himself, almost as if he had been placed back in a vase. The Creator had been speaking through him for about 2 of those 3 months, and during that time he shone, because Yeshua was coming through him in his brilliance and activating something within me. This happened during the final 3 months of my being an atheist, and then immediately after this direct access through the twin flame experience, we had the I love you phone call, and the Book of Truth began. So the Creator used that young man to activate something within me, and I think there may be another layer to it, because I want to know what was activated. What did Jesus bring to me through that man? Jesus did something there, and I want to understand what it was. Why would he choose to work in that way?
He was looking for any way to reach you. So he came to you through people so that you would listen to them. Remember, you were an atheist then, so he did this to get your attention.
I closed my ears to the Creator when he would not speak to me about why he hit me with a tornado. I demanded a meeting, and I told him that if he did not give me that meeting, I did not want to hear anything from him again. At the time, I reasoned that if I could not have a meeting with him, then he could not be all-powerful or almighty, because it meant I did not matter to him, and I took that as proof that he did not love me. So I closed my ears completely, and I heard nothing from him for more than 2 years, which convinced me fully that he did not exist. This young man mirrored me almost exactly. You need to pay attention to these things because they are different. It is either an exact reflection or something in the way they speak that stands out. Jesus himself came through that man and spoke to me. As an atheist at the time, encountering him made me realize something was different about the situation. It felt scripted. I kept trying to wrap my mind around it to understand it, and then he faded out and left.
I can absolutely see why the Creator did that to get your attention. You were essentially looking into the eyes of Yeshua, your twin flame, in that encounter. That is why it felt scripted, as you said. It was a divine encounter meant to activate something within you, because after that you stepped into the book of truth. It is amazing what he does without us even realizing.
This is now the second case, similar to a riddle, in which the Creator has shown how he can come through a human and engage with you to get your attention. You can recognize these riddle events in at least two ways. First, when a person you know well suddenly speaks to you with authority and their words carry weight and truth, you should recognize them as the words of the Creator. Second, when an encounter with someone feels scripted, as though the meeting has been arranged by design.
That is very interesting, and I am sure many people have experienced these types of riddle events, many of which were painful for the one receiving the riddle. We need to remember that when you find yourself in a difficult event, it is usually a time when heaven is silent and you cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel. That is when you know you are in an event. Also, within these books, the Creator initiates new events, and you have to experience the raw emotion of those events for him to unveil a mystery.
People are unaware that with each difficult event they go through on their life journey, many of which were chosen by them before coming to earth, there is a mystery hidden within the event, directly connected to the heart. After all, this whole Project Earth is a test of the heart, and within those events, you must experience the raw emotion, the moments when the Creator feels distant, in order for the pearl to be formed within your heart.
Many times these difficult events can stretch over months or even years, but we have now seen with each book in which the Creator creates a difficult event in order to unveil one of his mysteries, that the events are shorter for the sake of the books.
As the Creator said, he can only unveil his mysteries through the life of a person. The events that have happened to me over my lifetime and within these books are examples that will help the bride look at her own life, and through them, Yeshua will form a pearl within her. So the key is this: if you find yourself in a difficult situation, which is an event, and you see no light, and the Creator is silent, keep your heart pure, and ask the Creator why you would have chosen this event. If you pass the heart test within the event, and the pearl in your heart is formed once again, you will begin to see the light return.
This chapter is part of a larger work. The truth continues in the next chapter,